Holy cow. Let's see. Oh my gosh, now it's doing something different. All right. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. We're live on Facebook. Holy technical difficulties today. So, my name is Heidi Foy. I am the creator of opportunities here at Bullfrog Creatives. Man, so two things we're struggling with today, technology, and you are a really difficult man to nail down. Like, you're so busy, and that's good because I think in this year, the best thing you can do is to stay busy. So let's get going because I know that you have things to do and my kids are going to be calling me wondering why I'm late to pick them up. That's never a good thing. So today on our broadcast, I'm super excited to have a special guest, Mr. Haven Meged, who, I'm not going to lie, like there's a lot of people that don't understand that you can college rodeo and you can rodeo professionally at the same time. One of the major differences between college rodeo as a college sport and other collegiate athletics. So not only did you do them at the same time, but well, I mean, you kicked ass across the board. So, of course, 2020 being there was no CNFR. So we're talking about the 2019 CNFR. You were in Casper. You kind of conquered the event center and won the national title in the tie down roping here in Casper at a collegiate level. And then that December, did the same thing at the Thomas and Mack. So super gigantic kudos to you. And so I was face stalking you a little bit because where else am I going to do my research? And I think it's really funny that your athlete page on Facebook was created on December 3rd, 2019. Like you were not prepared for what was to come, I'm guessing.
No, not even close.
That's really funny, which awkward that I would notice that, but I just thought that was interesting. So let's talk first about your college experience. So you're from Miles City, Montana, home of the Miles City Buck and Horse Sale, a great community college there in your community, and you chose to go to college out of state. I can think of several white things that are about to come your way that would make you go that way. However, I would like to know from you, why did you decide to go away from your home, away from the great colleges in the Big Sky region to rodeo?
The state of Montana obviously has great colleges and everything, but I wanted to go where I could be able to rope against the best people day in and day out. And there's a lot of great ropers up in Montana, but there's no world champion calf ropers up here and stuff. So I wanted to go down where I could rope day in and day out with those guys. So it was it was a big deal. I always told my parents since I was little, I said, I don't want to be able to be close enough to come home where I have to come home and work on the weekends. I want to be able to dedicate myself where I can be roping 24/7. So that's something I always told my parents that I'm going to go down south. And it was a hard decision on them to let me go down there and stuff, but it worked out for the best. I'm glad I went down there because it opened up a lot of doors for my life. I mean, not just rodeo, friendships and just all kinds of stuff. It's honestly a great opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. So I know we talked about this off camera, but um, what schools did you attend?
I went to Western Oklahoma State and Altus, Oklahoma for 2 years, and then I went down to Tarleton State University in Stephenville, Texas for another 2 years.
So I think it's really important to note that it's not like you were a freshman. You were not a freshman when all of the magic happened. You really had to work for it. I mean, you paid your dues, you put your time in, and I don't know. I mean, I think so many people look at a situation like yours and they're like, yeah, well, he everything just clicked and he didn't have to work hard. And, I think the fact that, 2 years here and 2 years there, clearly you were working hard the whole time. And, I mean, I guess talk a little bit about that.
I remember showing up my freshman year at Altus. It was it was, you go to the jackpots when you got all those Hunter Herons and all those guys that rope really good in Oklahoma. We'd go to those jackpots, and those guys been to NFR a bunch, and it was kind of intimidating at first because they'd kick your butt day in and day out. You got sick of paying your entry fees, but there's only one way to get better is when you put your name down against the best guys and learn how to get where you can win with them. It's a lot of days in the practice things. A lot of people just think it comes easy, but it really doesn't. It's up all day practicing, maybe flanking and tying at night, and then starting over the next day. There's no days off if you want to be a champion.
Well, and I would say that's a great saying. No days off if you want to be a champion. I would say that for me personally, I liken the tie down roping to similar to the girls' event or the women's event of the goat tying, because there's so many things that come into play. Like, yeah, you need to be able to ride. Yeah, you need to be able to, you got to be athletic because you got to step off. But then the kind of the finesse of it is the flanking and tying. And like you said, so many different things have to come into that. And I also think that the decision that you made and that your parents were so supportive of to allow you to go somewhere else away from home to get that experience. I mean, I think that probably made all the difference for you. And how overwhelming to go as a freshman and see those names in the mix. I mean, even if you're just going to jackpots or whatever, be it like seeing those names in the mix, that kind of humbles you for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I remember it's tough, getting to rope against those guys, it's a dream come true. But then when they starting to take your money, it was like, gosh, this is hard and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of people don't understand, what it really takes. A lot of people might win first or second at a roping one time, two times out of the whole year, and they're satisfied with that. I want to win every time when I show up. So I think that's the difference between, people that want to be great and people that want to be happy with what they're doing. I'm not saying nothing's bad or anything, but if you want to get to the next level, you've got to learn how to work at it day in and day out, where you can get to where you hang with the best guys every day. Because when you go to a pro rodeo, there might be 120 guys there, and they ain't if they're not showing up if they don't rope good. I mean, there's
Yeah.
120 guys trying to take your money, so I mean that's a lot of chances, a lot of guys to beat you. So you got to be on your A game day in and day out, where you're ready every time you back in the box and nod your head up, so you're not going to win.
So one of the coaches that I spoke with early on in the broadcast, he kind of lined it out, the difference between the I guess the game as a whole at a collegiate level, an amateur level, and a professional level is the mental game. I mean, once you get to a collegiate level, there's a lot of talent and some mental game in it as well. But once you get to the pro level, everybody there has the talent. It's just a matter of where their mental toughness is. And I think that obviously this year in particular, I would say that has kind of played high in the and I would also say kind of it's been a little bit more of a pulling contest maybe than it has in the past. So quickly before we go on to kind of talk a little bit about your pro career and where you are now, I don't know the answer to this, so I may set myself up. But what was your focus while you were in school?
My first 2 years were animal science, and then I switched my major to ag industries and agencies.
So you messaged me earlier, which was the original reason that we had to push this back. You were loading trucks. So I can imagine what you were doing, but talk to me about what you're doing with your spare time now.
Pretty. It's whatever dad has to have done. We've been preg checking cows and stuff, checking embryos, and then yesterday and today we're weaning calves. We're pulling off. We pulled 300 off today. So, matter of fact, there's 16 missing right now. They got out last night. So after this, I'm going out to see where we can find them all at. But yeah, it's
Yeah, so
just
he's probably standing over there tapping his toe at me, huh?
yeah. So it's
Sorry,
all
Dad.
it's all a process. It's that time of year. We just got the silage off the field. The cows are starting to come home. The calves are getting weaned. So, it's just getting back in that routine of having everything back at the ranch again. Everything's coming off leases.
That sounds good. Sounds like a typical September day on the ranch, I would say.
Yes,
Um,
ma'am.
yeah, so sorry that I'm pulling your help away, Dad. Apologize. Um, So let's talk a little bit about your pro career. First, I'm real interested. How do you juggle classes, college rodeos, and going to enough pro rodeos to make it? I mean, not just to do well, but to make it to the NFR, and then the NFR is a whole different ballgame. But I mean, talk to me about the struggles or the balance that you found. I don't know if you found a balance. Talk about that. Just kind of doing all of those things at one time.
It wasn't easy. A lot of people ask how you do it, and the way I was able to do it is I had such great teachers and stuff at Tarleton State University. They worked with us. Some teachers didn't want to work with you, but they had to literally understand what you were doing and stuff. There's a lot of days I wasn't at class and stuff, so I was always emailing them, trying to figure out if they could help me walk me through it. That way I could get my homework submitted online because I'm not going to be there for maybe 1 week out of the month or something like that. So, they helped me a lot. And then as far as college rodeo and trying to juggle pro rodeos with it, that's a whole different level. Trying to
Hmm.
get where I had to turn out of a lot of short rounds to make a pro rodeo or make the short round at San Antonio. I won the long round at Odessa last year in 2019. Had to turn out the short round of Odessa for San Antonio short round that night. It's just a bunch of stuff like that. I remember being at the Ram National Circuit Finals, roping and then flying, getting on a plane, flying to Texas, roping there, getting back on a plane, flying back down to Kissimmee. It's just a bunch of stuff you have to juggle, and it's not easy. College rodeo and pro rodeo, and it kind of costs quite a bit on planes and stuff, and trying to get people to take your horses to each place where you can just be on an airplane, flying back and forth, and trying to satisfy your coaches and president and everything like that, and trying to take care of yourself out on the pro rodeos.
Yeah, it's almost like the ultimate time management course.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, you have to be sharp when you're going to enter, how you're going to enter, and try to get where you can get plane tickets for where it doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. You have
Mhm.
to book out in advance where you're not spending too much, where it's not even so it's worth it still, not where you're not just spending a bunch of money and not getting any return out of the deal.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine that your rodeo coach there at Tarleton had to be pretty supportive as well, because if you're turning out of the short round at a college rodeo, it's costing the team
Yeah,
also.
yeah.
Um, so there's a lot of things to take into consideration when you start spreading your time like that.
Yeah, no, well, Marky can, he's a great coach, and Brody Crest was on the team last year. There's a lot of guys that were on the team, and we had a great team this year too. But it sucked we didn't get to go to the college finals because our team we were stacked this year and stuff. So
Yeah.
felt like we were gonna win a national title. you know, it, he's been, that's a huge rodeo school down there. We got probably 130 kids on the team and stuff like that. And the meetings are huge. The practices are big and stuff like that. So there's always people around, and he's the president, the new the president right now. He's for rodeo. I mean, he's wanting to build us an indoor and everything, and he's pushing rodeo. He wants it to be like football and stuff right now. So it's really awesome to see a president come in and just push as hard as he can to try to get the best students there and have the best facilities at all times for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, Tarleton has always had a strong rodeo program, so it's anything they do is going to add to that program even more so.
So,
So before I forget, I want to give you an opportunity. You got all these patches going on your shirt, and I know it's not something that we would normally see at a collegiate level. So maybe you can talk a little bit about what these patches mean, what they mean to you personally, and then rattle them off just to make sure that you get them the recognition that they deserve also.
um, you know, the sponsor deal in rodeo is a big deal. A lot of people think that you just go around and ask people, and they're gonna give you money or whatever product. It's not like that. You got to be dedicated, and they want to see that you're gonna stay out there and represent their company the best you can. So each patch I wear is something that's a true friendship. I've spent a lot of time talking to him, getting where we can, make a plan and get a contract and get everything signed where everything's good because, you don't want to just go out there and, you see a lot of people just have a patch on and they don't even understand or what the product is and stuff like that. You
Hmm.
need to know and go to the place and understand what they're trying to sell because if they spend money on you, they want you to be able to tell people what the heck they're selling and stuff. So you just need to understand and study that stuff. So you're always, if some guy walks up, you can give him the whole rundown on their company and make everything good. That way your sponsors appreciate what you're doing for them. Like, I guess, I have the Purina. They take care of all the feed for my horses, all the grain supplements and stuff. I feed the Ultium, and then I got Platinum Performance. All their supplements. That's until I started feeding Platinum. My mare was hard to keep weight on out on the road, and once I started feeding that, it just made a huge difference. And then I have Miles City Buccaneer sale right here. They, it's pretty cool to have a local sponsor and stuff. That was one of my very first sponsors and stuff. So it was awesome to be able to support them. Especially because pretty much everybody, a lot of people on the board in Miles City always, everybody's behind you there at all times. I got Stevenson Angus Ranch. That's a really nice Angus ranch, and I have donor cows with them and stuff. So it's really cool to be in a partnership in a big Angus ranch like that. I got Zestera, that's a good supplement for ulcers and stuff like that. I got Running Iron Whiskey, Mark Lewis up there. He's got he had a lot of irons in the fire at all times. He works with the Olympics and stuff like that, and he's a great guy. Always willing to talk to you and give you knowledge on different things. I got American Hat Company. They keep me in the best hats at all times, so it's really cool to have them. Basin Angus Ranch, they do. They're actually related to Stevenson Angus Basin. It's really cool to have both of them on. Basin takes care of a lot of stuff. I get some heifers from them, and it's just great to get their genetics into my herd. I also have Current Creek Angus Ranch. They help take care of my main set of registered cattle. They let me sell all my bulls and stuff with them, so it's awesome. I got Cinch jeans, shirts and jeans. They're awesome. Jessica and everybody up there, she's always making sure you guys are in tip top shape. If you ever need something, you call her and she's gonna have it within the next couple days to you. I got Vitafirm. You keep all the mineral for the cows and keep my horses looking good too. So it's awesome to have. I have quite a few sponsors and stuff, but I always want to have a great deal. Rattler Ropes, they always take care of me for all my ropes and strings and stuff like that. So it's awesome to be able to have such great sponsors day in and day out, because they spend the money and stuff like that, and I dang sure spend the time to try to take care of them because that without sponsors you wouldn't get up and down the road because um, rodeoing it's not a lot of profit unless you make the national finals, and a lot of people don't understand that if you don't have sponsors you're not going to get very far because I don't understand how people that don't have great sponsors that don't make the NFR how they afford it. I understand you can have jobs and stuff like that, but you can only make so much in from October to maybe March when you start rodeoing hard again. You know, it costs us a lot of money just to rodeo from the winter rodeos all the way till September 30th and stuff like that. So it's just without sponsors, it's hard to make it out there, and I can't thank them enough for everything they do for me.
Absolutely. So I might be hitting you back up on Facebook. When did all of this sponsorship happen for you? Did it happen like after the CNFR? Did you have a few coming into the CNFR? I mean, when do you pull the trigger and when do you know as a college athlete it's time? Or I guess, what's your
Um,
advice on that?
I had Cinch actually signed me right before the Ram Circuit Finals down there in Kissimmee, right before I won it. They signed me literally 3 days before I went down there, and they had all my. I was with Wrangler, and then they switched me, and they brought huge boxes of clothes and shirts and everything. They said we'll have it all ready for you when you get down. they sent me a bunch of stuff, and I had Rattler ropes and then the Buccaneer sales. So those were really the only sponsors I had at that point and stuff. And it just felt like throughout the summer and stuff, I kept getting more and more, and then I
Mhm.
got some good ones after the NFR and stuff. So you know,
It just kind
y-
of goes
yeah,
from there.
it kind of just went from the Ram National Circuit Finals after I won that. It just kind of got more and more, and then it's just I feel like I have great sponsors right now, and I can't do anything without them.
Well, a little shout out. My brother actually sells Cattle Active and Zestera in Oregon. And then I know a lot of the people that are associated with that company. So it's a great company. And Cinch Jeans, since you mentioned it, I always do a shout out to them. I've worked with Jessica at the college finals, but now work with her on Bullfrog Creative. So she actually is a partner of mine now on this platform. So a special thanks to Jessica for helping us bring this information and doing these broadcasts for you guys. It definitely is more than just a partnership, I would say for sure. You said you have friendships and good relationships with all of them, and that I think is the key. Um, so before we wrap up, I want to talk to you. I've heard a lot of different things from people in the industry. My dad is a huge PRCA rodeo follower. He was a contestant. I say back in his day, he was a contestant. So I want to know about the horse that you roped off of at the NFR.
She's a 10-year-old mare this year. I bought her off Facebook 3 years ago. Yeah, she's a huge blessing and stuff. Without her, it'd be hard to be successful. She's one of the fastest horses out there, and she's sharp day in and day out. You can always rely on her. Whether she has a couple weeks off. I didn't even after the Canadian finals, I didn't even ride her, and I didn't get to rope on her at all because I hurt my ankle before the that. I literally 3 days after the Canadian finals, I hurt my ankle, and I got to ride her 2 days before Vegas, and then I just got to exercise her when I was out there and stuff. So, it was a deal where I didn't get to get her sharp at all, and she was ready for it when we backed in the first night for Vegas.
So I have a question for you. Clearly, flying on an airplane from rodeo to rodeo looks so much different for a tie down roper versus say a saddle bronc rider or another rough stock event. I mean, how many calf horses do you have? How do you manage that? Do you borrow? I mean, how does that work for you?
Sometimes you do mount out and borrow other people's horses, but I have a pretty good team right now. I got my mare right now, and then I got a 5-year-old sorrel gelding. I have 11-year-old black gelding. He's been hurt kind of since Salinas and Deadwood last year, so hopefully he's gonna come back. We're hoping so, but just it'd be nice to have those three out there next year. But I
Mhm.
got those two right now. I've been giving the mare a break for the last 3 weeks. After I knew I made the finals this year, I just kind of gave her a break and let her take my young horse out there. And he's been great. I've been letting people on, and he's been working really, really good. So it's great to be able to have two horses where one can have a break and the other one can go out on the road for a while.
Yeah, yeah. So let's quickly talk about this year. Obviously, the number of rodeos was dramatically different, so much lower. But um, what would you say is the primary difference between the seasons last year and this year for you?
I would say, the driving, it's crazy. We drive 10 hours just to one rodeo, feels like every time. Doesn't matter if it's a $2,500 added rodeo, $1,000, or maybe a $10,000 added rodeo. It's just the amount of driving right now. Usually last year you could drive 5 hours, there'd be a rodeo. You didn't have many of those 10-hour drives.
Hmm.
There was some last year, but this year so many of them day in and day out just that dang sure burnt
Canceled.
you out. We rodeoed really hard. My partner Ty Harris and Trent Smith, we dang sure went hard in July, so we didn't have to be on the bubble right now because it's hard being on the bubble right now with the rodeos are still getting canceled and stuff. Heck, they just canceled the National Western Stock Show in Denver for 2021. So
I just saw
just
that.
it's just stuff we set a priority that we're gonna rodeo hard in July. It doesn't matter. We're gonna go to every little rodeo where we know we have the NFR made by the 1st of August and stuff like that. So it's just something we set as a goal, and Ty and I were lucky enough to be able to achieve that. Trenton had got hurt, so but it's just stuff people don't understand that what it's like out there really. You
Mhm.
eat terrible, you never get to really sit down and eat a good meal. It's nice when you go to a nice hospitality or something, or get a couple days to lay over and actually go eat at a nice restaurant, not McDonald's or Wendy's or something like that,
Mhm.
or gas station food constant and stuff like that. So, last year you got to go to, we've had 3 or 4 days off throughout the week, every week right now. It is nice getting to be home and stuff and help out, but that's the biggest difference. Feels like you have 3, 4 days off, and then it's 10 hours to one rodeo, and then 10 hours there, and then somehow it's 10 hours back home and stuff like that. So I don't know. Last year we didn't come home as much. You were out there full time
And you stayed out.
rodeo. Yeah, you stayed out there. There was
Yeah.
no coming home until the season was over and stuff like that. But once the season's over, the rodeos start right back up in the fall of October, and you really can't come home at all in October. You might fly home, the Nile. I guess I got to come home last year for the week of the Nile and stuff and help be at home. But really, it's just rodeo. And last year was straight rodeo, and this year, it's rodeo on and off, but just the weekends. You're just a weekend rodeo right now and stuff. So it is nice
Yeah.
getting to be home, but the driving dang sure pulls on you. We got 2 weeks left. We go to Gooding, Idaho this week, and then the tour finale in Stephenville that next week, and then we're done. So I just want to finish off strong, and it'd be great to go to the NFR again, especially it's at a different place. So it'd be, you know,
Yes.
we talked. I was talking to Ty the other day, and you know, we're like, well, at least we got to go to the NFR in Vegas for 1 year. Who knows if it goes back? Nobody knows what's going to go on, but he's we're like, well, at least we get to go to Dallas and be a part of the first time it's ever been there and stuff. So it's pretty cool to get to be in our seats right now, because last year was my rookie year. The year before was his rookie year. So, we both have the same goals. We just wish they had the Canadian finals again, because we really enjoyed getting to go up there and rodeo and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's it's pretty cool just to get to be in our shoes right now.
So I think there's a lot. I've heard a lot of grumblings, both sides, of course. Everyone has their own opinion, but um, I guess what are your thoughts aside from like just the being able to experience it somewhere else? I mean, do y'all know what the added money is going to be? Do you know what the payout's going to look like?
I've heard a lot of good things. You hear a lot of people rumors and stuff, but
Mhm.
nobody really knows. But I feel like it's gonna pay more than it last year. Texas is excited to have it, and I'm I'm saying they ain't gonna let it leave ever.
Yeah.
I feel like they're gonna put a bunch of money up where it's not gonna leave Texas. Where Vegas didn't have it and stuff like that, and the PRC allowed them not to put the money up and stuff like that. So I feel like it's gonna go, it could possibly stay in Texas. It just, if they put a bunch of money up and the rounds potentially pay a bunch more, I feel like it's going to be hard to get us to leave Texas if Vegas doesn't match it. Who knows? It's just all things that people say and talk about, which
Yeah.
is typical and stuff like that. But we're just hoping that it's going to pay more, and I feel like it is going to pay more because I've heard a lot of good things lately about it.
Well, very cool. That was going to be my last question. So, Haven, thank you so much. I know that it was a pain in probably your mom and your dad's butt and your butt, and I really appreciate your time. I appreciate you sharing your thoughts. Um, I feel like maybe you don't know this, or maybe you never imagined that you would be in this situation, but there's a lot of kids, especially college age kids now, that probably that look up to you and admire you for the fact that you've been able to well, several things, but win that national title at the collegiate level in the same year that you won the title at the pro level. I think is monumental. It speaks highly of you, of your character, but then also reflects back on the collegiate program as well. So kudos to you. Obviously, I'm always giving kudos to the National Intercollegiate Rodeo Association for their collegiate programs and coaches. So I want to thank you so much, and I'll be looking towards your Facebook page to see what else is going on, and I'll just hopefully I can keep in touch with you. I would love to do something with you during the NFR and just get your feel for the new facility and see what it's like. But would love to stay in touch with you. Again, I appreciate your time, I'll do a sign off, but if there's anything else you have to say, now would be a good time.
Oh, just thanks for having me on, and just for anybody that's listening and stuff like that, just never give up on your dreams and always keep going, because there's a lot of setbacks in life and stuff like that, and if rodeoing isn't easy, if that's what you're gonna pursue, that the mentality of it, mental game is a huge thing in the sport of rodeo, and not just rodeo, everything in life is a lot of mental game and stuff. So don't let one little setback set you back and where you give up on your dreams. Always look at the end goal and keep pushing forward.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I would I appreciate everybody tuning in. I know we did have some live viewers, no questions, which we're always looking for people to ask questions. So if you're tuning in live, thank you for watching. If you're going to catch this on the rewatch, thank you for watching. If you do have questions and you're rewatching it, please post that, and I will get back to those questions, and I will pass those questions on to Haven. Again, I want to give a shout out to Cinch Jeans. Appreciate the relationship and the friendship that we have with Jessica and her crew. And we are working on some different things coming up in Casper. The PBR is going to be coming to Casper here in the next, the first and second week of October, weekends, 2 weekends. So that's going to be a really great event for our community. I will have a ticket giveaway once we get a little bit closer to that. And I'm so excited. We are quickly approaching 1,000 followers on the Bullfrog Creatives page, which I'm pretty excited about. So when we get to that 1,000 likes, I'm going to have a little giveaway for some Cinch jeans to give back to some of our viewers. And then also, just a heads up for October. I know, look, we're halfway through September. Just a heads up for October, I'm going to have a special series that is near and dear to my heart, not related to rodeo, even one iota. However, is related to the human connection anyways. October, for those of you that do not know, is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I feel like everybody knows somebody that has been through that journey. And so I'm going to be telling some stories during the month of October, and also have a few giveaways there. So lots of big things coming on the platform. And again, thank you, Haven. Thank you guys for watching, and y'all have a great week.